Hey guys, it's the Fort Worth Glock Guy, and I wanted to do a collection update on my traditional knives. So this is the end of 2015, and my traditional knife collection has really kind of blossomed in the last quarter of 2015. Prior to this, I only had these two, if you want to consider these traditionals, which I guess they are. Case knives, copper locks. Not slip joints, they are locking, but this is the Case Copper Lock Mini in Stag, and this is the large Case Copper Lock in Peach Seed. And when I first got into knife collecting, when I was really kind of a newbie and unaware, I really did like these copper locks, and I ended up collecting a variety of the minis in different colors, blues, reds, greens, all different colors. And at one point I decided that I just didn't need all of these, so I ended up selling most of them off, and I kept these two because I did want to keep a small and a large, and these were my two favorites, so I kept them. And then kind of went off on my journey of collecting and ended up going in the way of Victorinox Swiss Army knives and just your tactical folder, I guess you would consider. So kind of went off on that for a while. And recently I've kind of come back to traditionals because I've really enjoyed just the variety that these traditionals offer. So I believe the first traditional that I ended up getting was this one right here. And this was kind of a grail for me because when these first hit the market, as soon as they were available, they were gone. So these were really hard to find. This is the Northwoods Fremont Jack. And I picked this up used from an Instagrammer by the name of Micah Bird. I'm sure a lot of you are familiar with him, especially if you're on IG. So when he offered this up, I jumped on it because I really, really wanted a Fremont Jack because I just thought the way that they looked was awesome. And it came in a white bone, which I believe is just beautiful. I love this. And I loved the blade shape that the Fremont Jack offered. So that was kind of a grail knife for me at the time. And then shortly after that, of course they kind of come in spurts, I picked up a blue one because blue was really the color that I wanted to begin with. I got the white one because it was available, but I got the blue one because this is really the one that I wanted. So this kind of went into the collection, and this one is the one that I carry and use. And as you can see, it does get a lot of use. So it's got not a dark blue, just more kind of a teal blue and a white mix, but a really cool color. And as you can see, it's got a lot of great color on there too. That patina is just really set in nicely. No rusting, no problem with that, just color. So there's my blue Northwoods, and I do carry that in this sheath that Micah Bird made. I made a different lanyard to match the color of the knife. So that's what I carry. Usually this goes in my fifth pocket of my blue jeans. It's kind of my casual knife. And then after that, let me see. I believe I got this next actually. This is a Case medium Stockman, and this was gifted to me by Mr. Knife Techs. And this is a really cool blade too. One that I don't think I would have bought on my own. So I'm glad that he gifted this to me because I really have enjoyed this knife. Nice long slender main blade, Warncliffe, and the spade blade. And as you can see, there's a lot of scarring on here because I've been using this a lot. So when I said I don't think I would ever have bought this on my own, I'm glad he bought this because I've been using this quite a bit and I've enjoyed it. And it's in my favorite color, green, so makes it even more special. So I'm trying to remember what was next. It's kind of hard to remember because a lot of these have come in pretty rapid succession. So I believe this was next. I got this used off of Instagram, #knife sale, and got this at a really good price as well. These are kind of hard to come by. This is the Soda Scout, and as you notice, it just says Scout on there. Linen micarta, and it's got the main blade, and it's got the bottle opener and driver on here. And this is exactly like a beer scout. It just says Scout on it. It's identical in every way. This one sits above my desk, and I use this as a letter opener. And anytime I'm on the YouTubes and chatting up with fellow YouTubers and pop open a beer, this is what I use. So this gets a lot of use, and I just love that little blade. Of course, you have to have a beer scout, right? So I got this because of this knife right here. I wanted a matching pair, and although it's not exactly matching as far as the color goes, it's okay, still a white bone, but I wanted a beer scout. This has actually never been used. It's just in the collection. So there's my beer scout, and like I said, it's identical to the other one. Same blade, same bottle opener. It's just got a different label on there, Beer Scout. So those two were purchased to be a pair. And then I came across another white bone, and I'd never had a actual GEC. I know these are GECs, but I'd never had an actual GEC Northfield. And this is the unexcelled, and this is the Washington Punch. And I came across this on a knife sale as well. And what I thought was really cool about this was this, all that it came with, this punch, which where it gets its name. Now this is extremely tough. I would put this at about a 9 pull. I mean, it's pretty stout. It is most definitely a nail breaker. I've bent my nail back quite a few times trying to open this thing, but I didn't realize the stoutness of this until I got it in hand. And this is, if you're familiar with the Soldier, this is about twice the length of a Soldier and about twice the width. So this is pretty stout, and that's probably the reason it's so stiff. Just to get enough leverage on there, they have to put a lot of tension there, because this, if you're gonna actually use this for its intended purpose, you don't want this folding up on you as you're using it. But man, that scoop is deep, and that punch is wide. Look at that. Just awesome. And of course that fit in with that little collection right there. Shortly after that, the Michigan Jack came out. So here's the Michigan Jack. And of course, I had a little theme going on here, so I had to order the white bone. And it's got a very similar shaped blade to the Fremont Jack, but it is a little bit different. I'll show you the differences here, and I'm going to do a separate video on comparing these two. The Michigan Jack's a little bit longer, as you can see, and it's a little bit more narrow of a blade, both in width and this direction is as well. The Fremont's a little bit more stout. So again, I'm going to do a little comparison video on these two, but really like that Michigan Jack. This is actually, I think it's one of my favorite traditionals right now. Let's see. Oh yeah, after I got this punch, I kind of grew to like this 2-layer knife, and I wanted to find the Washington Jack, which instead of the punch just has a blade, like a secondary blade, and I could not find it in white bone. So I ended up getting a matching pair in Cocobolo because I kind of wanted to have a little bit of variety. I didn't want to have all my knives in white bone. So I got this as a set, and one of them is the punch and one of them is the jack. They have the exact same main blade, and then this is the jack, so it's got the exact same, I'm sorry, this is the punch, so this has got the exact same reamer or awl that the other one had. And then this one, of course, the main blade, and it's got a secondary blade, so much smaller. So this is kind of a set, and again, this is just for the collection. I don't really carry these two. I just wanted a matching pair, and I wanted a little bit of variety because I already had 4 white bones, so I wanted something different. Then let's see, what was next? Got this Washington Jack, same thing with the secondary blade, the small secondary blade, and I got this for the purpose of carry, because I wasn't going to carry this, but I really liked the knife, and I wanted to have a knife that I could carry. So this is actually one that is in my rotation that I do carry. So up here, the kind of collector knives, and then down here are actual user knives. I carry them, I use them, and I love them. My last 2, and I think these will be my last 2 of 2015 that I buy, is the Michigan Jack and the denim micarta, and these were extremely hard to come by, and I happened to catch it at the right time. It was catching lightning in a bottle. It really was. And this is another one that I have been using since the day I got it. You can see the patina is starting to set in, and this has quickly become one of my favorite knives. If you follow me on Instagram, you've seen a lot of pictures of this recently. So love that knife, and it is a user. I use all these knives at the bottom. These are my collectors, these are my users. And then the last one is this little Great Eastern Cutlery, number 25. And what is unique about this one is the Wharncliffe blade. As you notice, a lot of my blades have this Wharncliffe. I really like that blade shape, and I wanted a small traditional knife that I could just put in my work pants, and it just goes right down in that little pocket, and it is extremely discreet, and I love it. And it happens to match my Fremont. It's a little bit darker blue, but it matches that Fremont. So I've got a little pair there as well. So anyways, that's kind of my traditional knife collection up to this point. And man, I did not realize how addicting that these would be. So if you are thinking about getting a traditional knife, choose wisely and get what you want, because these get quite addicting. So anyways, thanks for watching. Appreciate you sticking by this kind of ramble. Yeah, if you guys have any questions about any of these knives, let me know. I am going to do a comparison between the Fremont and the Michigan Jack, because I do have an opinion on those. I like both of them, but I do have an opinion on them, so I want to talk about those too. All right, thanks for watching. Fort Worth Clock Guy, out.